Right. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. I think I say that every time I start these webinars, but it's always on a Friday, so it feels appropriate. So happy Friday, everybody. I'm Kimberly. I'm a senior marketing manager on the account and relations team here at GreenSlate, and I just want to start by thanking you for joining with us today. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. We're just going to give people a chance to join the webinar. So we still have people joining. So while we're waiting, I see people putting some things in the chat here. So what I would love is if you could let us know in the chat who you are and where you're joining us from today, as well as what your role is in the production industry. I think I just said that wrong. At any rate, so put that in the chat for everybody to see who all is joining. I see Shannon. Hi, Shannon. And then we have, oh, Christine, a payroll accountant from Toronto, another person from Toronto, a key accountant there. Oh, somebody from Winnipeg.
Lots
I
of
first
familiar,
assessment. Oh,
names here.
nice, good. Yeah, you can say hi as you see him roll by there,
Hello,
Daniel.
everybody. Oh, I'll be shutting out a lot of people.
There you go. Yep, yep. So, well, we definitely still have more people joining. Like I said, my name is Kimberly. I'm here, work with GreenSlate on the account and relations team. Thank you guys so much for spending a part of your Friday with us. This is GreenSlate's webinar. We are doing a live demo today of Circus and GreenSlate and that integration, and you guys are going to love what you get to see today and just the ease that it's going to add to your life as a production accountant. So I'm excited for you guys to get to see this. Um, so I did say in 2 minutes we were going to get started, and surprising, 2 minutes goes so fast, doesn't it? So we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me do just a little bit of quick housekeeping before we jump into the demo today. So we absolutely want you to participate today. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that chat. Um, and so you can excuse me, you can definitely put any comments that you have in the chat. We do ask, though, that if you're going to ask questions, which we would absolutely love you to ask, that you put those in the Q&A box that you see at the bottom of your screen. You can see what that looks like on the screen right now. Um, you don't have to wait until the end of the webinar. If you're like me and you're forgetful and you will forget that question by the end of the webinar, just pop it in the Q&A anytime that you think of a question. We will hold the questions until the end and we'll go through them then. But like I said, we do ask you to put them in that Q&A box. That allows us also, in case we get a lot of questions and we can't answer them all live, we will send an email. We will follow up with everybody next week to make sure that you get an answer to your question. So as long as it's in that Q&A box, you'll get a follow-up from us next week. So all right, and then the other bit is that as you noticed when you joined, we are recording this webinar, and next week we will send out an email with the recording to the webinar to everyone who registered. So you can look for your happy little present in your inbox next week with that. So all right, again, just want to welcome everybody to this webinar where we are showing you how Circus and GreenSlate integrate. I can talk, it's Friday, right? And how that integrated workflow is just going to revolutionize your job as production accountant. So with that, let me introduce our speakers and we will get into it. So today, our presenters, I think it sounds like Daniel, you know a lot of people here, but we have Daniel, who's the founder of Circus. And then we also have Jenna, who is our accountant training manager at GreenSlate. So I'm going to pass it over to you guys and let you guys introduce yourselves.
I'll start, I guess. Hi, my name is Daniel Domachowski. I'm one of the co-founders of Circus. A lot of you may be familiar with who I am already, but if you aren't, I used to be a producer way back in the day at PM. I selfishly built Circus for myself. I was missing all the tax credit documents for my workers, or at least half of them. And so we ended up starting to build this really comprehensive and really customizable platform that ended up working for any production across Canada, any union, any province. And, we most recently got acquired by GreenSlate, which we're super excited about. That means that we can continue to build this really seamless integration from onboarding to payroll, which we're going to show you today. But just as a reminder, like we're still payroll agnostic. We will still work with EP customers, casting crew customers, but of course, the GreenSlate experience is the best experience, and it can offer some killer discounts for you as well. So happy to pass it over to Jenna as well. So hello, Jenna.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Jenna Kaye. As Kimberly said, I'm the head of training here at GreenSlate. I am also a former production accountant. I started in production accounting in 2009 after doing a few years in locations as well. And I am so excited about this GreenSlate Circus integration. I love that we are now all in one and being able to expand into Canada the way that we are. We've already always had this footprint in Canada, but to be able to have it directly with Circus has been fantastic. And personally, I have super enjoyed learning Circus and seeing all that it has to offer. What Daniel's created is amazing. And as I love GreenSlate, but seeing Circus and seeing the combined is just really fantastic. And I can't wait for you all to see it. So again, thank you for showing us. What we're going to go over today, as I said, Circus, we're going to see a live, Daniel's going to onboard somebody live for us. So we could see how easy it is, how amazing it is. And then I'm going to take over and I am going to show you around GreenSlate a little bit, make you all familiar with it. And then I'm going to actually do a time card for that person that Daniel just onboarded. So we can see how that goes all the way through. And then we're going to go over, talk about what's next, and go over our Q&A, which Kimberly will lead us on at that point. So that being said, I think we're going to jump into the Canadian demo.
Okay, let me share my screen and we can dive right into it. Here we go. I'm sharing. Let me know if you can see my screen where it says go for Daniel.
You're
Yep,
good.
awesome. Great. Okay, so obviously some of you are already familiar with this, right? Just look at your dashboard. You'll see workspaces that you have access to. If you don't know what workspaces are, there are, places where, studios like Netflix can come in here and control all of their productions, grant people access across all these productions, and easily roll over templates from previous shows, right? And on your main dashboard, you have every single production that you have access to, right? When you click into a production, you can quickly see what you can do. In this production in particular, we can only have start packs, right? You see your key talent. On the right, you have access groups. You can go ahead and grant other accountants access, coordinators, PMs, and that way you don't need to rely on us to do that. You can just self-manage this completely. And on the left, we have all of our tooling. I'm going to quickly jump into the settings. I'm going to show you some of the things that we do to configure GreenSlate. And for those that don't really know Circus, I'm going to show you a little bit of how we can sort of like customize your production. So first up, what we do is we capture basic details. This helps your workers understand what they're working on. We can enter the production company name and work regions here. This helps us automate tax credit workflows, but also unions, right? They're all baked into the system. We can choose rate cards in here, and that will generate deal memos in the background. And then what we do is we enter a 5-digit ID, GreenSlate ID. Once that's entered, we're completely synced. Anything that we approve in Circus automatically appears in GreenSlate. You don't have to do anything. It's just completely automatic. And here you can really customize like what you want to collect, right? We have extensive residency document collection. We have every single document you can imagine and every single workflow you can imagine. And what's most important is residency document collection is combined as part of the onboarding experience. It's not a separate experience for workers or for you. And then we also build start packs in here. You can see I can edit this live. Good to go. Great. Click save, and then it's ready to share with your workers. We have an approval process that you can really customize. And we also have an onboarding experience. We can really hone in how your workers onboard. Okay. So lots of details. We can go into a private demo if you want afterwards. I can show you really how we can customize for your show. But what I'm going to do right now is onboard a worker. So first thing we do is click here and click send locked invite. Open invites, just so you know, it's a QR code or a link that you can share across all of your workers so they can set their own deal points. I know it sounds scary, but you can edit those deal points later. For this demo, we're going to send a locked invite. Okay. So here, As you can see, I'm going to set deal points for a worker, and I already have an invite ready to go. So I'm going to click edit on this invite. Anything that you choose or any worker that you want to get processed through payroll, you choose payroll. AP, that's someone who's a contractor who's submitting an invoice, right? And down below, you can see I've entered some of the deal points. Because I chose DGC Ontario and the role, down below you'll notice the rate does typically pre-populate, but I can go above scale and it'll flag it that it's above scale as well. Okay. You can do other things like capture licenses and passports and driving abstracts. You can even offer kits and allowances here. We will pre-populate this based on what you have in the settings. You can offer per diem here, and anything that you can't include up here, you can just include down here below, right? So you can just keep loading them up. Load up all of your workers here on the left, and once you're ready to go and send those invites off, you click send all invites, and boom, that worker now receives an invite to onboard. So I'm already logged in. I sent an invite to myself. So what I'm going to do is onboard as that worker. So I'm going to click here and click onboard. Okay. So now I'm going to read this lovely welcome message from the production, right? And then click onboard as location manager. Now I'm an admin, so I see this set deal points page. You can ignore it, but it's the experience of an open invite. Typically, a worker would come in here and set their own deal points. If I'd been sent a locked invite and I wasn't an admin, I would actually bypass this completely and go straight to my work profile. Now, we've onboarded maybe 80% of the labor workforce in Canada. Most people already have work profiles ready to go. So all I'm going to do is come in here and make sure everything's up to date, like my legal name, how I want to be credited, my pronouns, contact details, and all my union affiliations. Circus detects actually sister unions, and we will generate the right permit forms to sign. I can also share allergies and health concerns that can also be shared with catering, craft services. And any license or certificate related to my role as a worker, I can upload here. We do make certain things mandatory, like the WHSA certificate will make mandatory for Ontario workers. But I can also upload certain forms like OFA level 3, if I can do first aid, if I have a forklift license, or I'm a Jenny Up and I got a ticket, I can upload that here. Now, if I'm ever granted things like a vehicle allowance, we do also make certain documents mandatory, like proof of insurance for business use, as well as details about that car, right? And box kit rentals, it's mandatory to provide an inventory list together with documentation. Now, a drone kit is pretty extensive. There's lots of documents to capture. We'll capture all those documents as well, just to make sure you have everything you need. Next, we are going to indicate for tax credits or residency purposes, how am I eligible to work in the country, right? I'm here by birth or maybe by work permit. So maybe I'll upload a SIN letter or a work permit. I can enter a CAFCO ID if you're doing CanCon. I'll enter my primary residence and all my declarations about where I'm going to pay my taxes, where I'm going to live, and upload my supporting documents, all in one experience, right? When I upload these supporting documents, we're going to use machine learning to redact all those financial details to protect that private information of each worker. The platform does detect the license uploaded here, so that's 3 documents, but we will guide the crew and allow them to upload documents based on the combination that works for them, right? This, however, can be customized, as we're noticing a lot more productions and studios are bypassing CRA guidelines and just doing whatever they want. We have one production company captures 7 residency documents. So whatever you want, we can actually manage here in the platform. Lastly, I'm going to include, details about, my payment information. If I switch this to Corp, we'll capture, whether I'm a single or multi-shareholder, or all the standard declarations. I can also include who my agent is to let payroll know who to pay. And I can also include direct deposit details for myself. Void check can be uploaded as well. And what's coming shortly is we're just going to have a little click button, a connect button that you can connect directly to your bank account, and we'll send those credentials to GreenSlate automatically. Lastly, I'm going to include my signature, which I can type or draw, and then sign my agreements, which are completely pre-filled, right? There's not going to be any spelling mistakes. There's no errors. Everything appears exactly where it should. All I got to do is click here and hit sign and continue. And then the platform starts detecting things about me, right? Who I am as a worker. I'm an individual, so I'll see the deal memo for individuals, and it's been pre-filled, right? So all I got to do is scroll down, click sign and continue. Keeps detecting things, right? My residency forms I have to sign, um, union deal memos, but essentially, here's a GreenSlate payroll start slip, or maybe even direct deposit form. Probably going to come up next. Yep. So the point is, I can't submit this start pack to you as an accountant until you receive everything you need from me. So you're not chasing documents down after a show has been wrapped or during a show. So I'm going to sign this last document. Sometimes there's 40, 50 documents if you're working on a Netflix show.
Mhm.
And then as a worker, I will be done. Just submitted it, right? So now a production accountant or PM or an LP gets a ping asking them to approve a start pack. So now I'm going to put the hat on as an approver, and I'm going to go to my submissions here. I'm going to see all of my submissions here, right? Everything, just going to refresh the page here. Everything that I need to approve will appear here. Everyone else's approvals are here. People who have been invited are here. You can see when they've been onboarded. You can even resend invites, and fully approved start packs can be found here. Okay. Now let's go and approve a start pack. So I'm going to open this one up, and you're going to see the whole start pack in one place, right? Every single document that they've uploaded, documents need to sign, flags that, heads up, this person's got a kit or allowance. So just, be cautious of, inventory lists or maybe certain documentation that you need. I can also upload certain documents to a start pack. If someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, I just got my NOA. Do you want to take that instead of the three other, documents I've uploaded?" And you're like, "Yes, give it to me and I'll upload it." Or someone's just learning how to drive, or not just learning how to drive, is going to be driving a production vehicle and says to give you a license. You can upload that here. On the right, I have a full audit log of this entire start pack. And, all I got to do is just approve this if I'm happy. So as an accountant, I am required to add coding. And this coding we send to GreenSlate, which means timesheets get auto-coded, right? So I click apply on that. It's all done. So now I got to do is just approve. I click one button, and we'll countersign every single document within this start pack, and automatically take me to the next start pack I need to approve, just like that, right? So I'm all done. So that was the onboarding experience. Now, if I go to the approve section, you're going to see there's a GSID column. That means that any start pack that I've approved and has an ID, that means we've sent them to GreenSlate, right? So that's all good to go there. Now, I just want to give you a quick sneak peek of vouchers, which is coming up. And the reason why this is relevant is because, any background actor that you can onboard through Circus, we're also going to send to GreenSlate, right? So casting can invite people, ADs can check them in, just like this, right? Check them in, great. And accounting can calculate everything and just send it off to GreenSlate. Digital vouchers, it's such an amazing experience. This is going to come up this year. Lastly, we have live chat support in the bottom right. Can't see because I'm a demo account, but we have an incredible customer support experience. Your workers, you don't deal with them, we deal with them. So you send them to us and we'll help them out. And GreenSlate has an incredible live chat experience as well. And Jenna's going to show you. So I'm going to hand it off to Jenna to show you everything from here on.
Thank you so much, Daniel. That was awesome. Thank you. I love Circus so much. I love the platform. I love how it shows everything that we need to do. Let me share my screen now, and we'll jump over to the GreenSlate side of things. So here we are on the GreenSlate side of things. Here's my GreenSlate homepage. Everything here is all in one, all digital. Besides Circus for onboarding, this is the only place you're going need to log in. Everything is based off of roles and permissions. So I'm in here logged in as a lead accountant, also as a GreenSlate employee. So I have access to everything, like most of you accountants out there would as well. However, if I was Joe Grip or Daniel, I think he onboarded himself as the assistant location manager, Daniel would not see bank reconciliation or cost reports. He would only see time cards. And if after he was onboarded, we gave him permissions to create a bill or to do a petty cash or anything along those lines, then he would see those tabs. If not, wouldn't even know they exist in the world. In addition, you'll notice on each of these tabs, if you clicked the tab, that will open that module for you. If you click create, it takes you right in. But more importantly, I want to talk about our help that Daniel was talking about. Every module you'll see has this show me how, which are fantastic. Your crew members don't know how to do a time card. Rather than you walking them through them, they can click the show me how, and it will literally take them step by step by step through what they need to do. In addition, as Daniel mentioned, our help, everybody's homepage looks the exact same. So everybody has access to this wonderful question mark button. And this is how you get help from GreenSlate. Circus help will go directly to Circus, and then GreenSlate help will be from here. And again, like Circus, we are also help for your crew. So you don't have to be tech support for your crew. And live chat is a live GreenSlate human being and a phone number and an email. As you can see on our homepage, we also have access to documents. So anything that you need for any of your crew members to have, those of you that are used to being in a production office, the wall of files outside our office, this is now your wall of files sits here. Now, if we jump over to our left nav over here, as I scroll through, you're going to see there's lots of options here, which I love being able to have so much access and so much control. But one of the things I love to do is pin all the modules I use the most. And as I said, we're all in one. And when I mean all in one, we are literally all in one. If you look, here's my vendors, my purchase orders, my check requests and bills, my petty cash is in here. My P cards are in here. My check runs are in here. My cost report, my reports, my time cards, and my start works and all my employees. All of this is right here at my fingertips. Now, again, you can scroll through there, or you can pin the modules you love the most by just pinning them and putting them to the top. In addition, all of our search bars are intuitive. So if I'm looking for my bank rec, just start typing in the word and you're going to get that intuitive layout of everything that has BAN in that side for you. In addition, as Daniel was talking about with approval flows, everything within GreenSlate is under an approval flow. I'm going to jump over to purchase orders to explain what I mean by that a little bit. Actually, I'm going to jump over to check requests real quick. Our approval flows are going to be what you set up. So right here, you'll see I have some check requests in here. This one is completed. My approval flow is submit and approve. For most of you, your approval flow will be crew member submits, and then it goes on its approval flow journey while it's in the system, while you as the accountant can see those costs and can adjust for cash flow and for cost reporting reasons. So all of those costs are available for you to see while they're on their approval flow status, which makes life really easy for you. In addition, you're going to be able to see everything you need to do. All of your tasks at hand are right in front of you. You'll have this bell up here, which is telling me I have 11 things I could approve right now. And that 11, if we go over here, is broken out over here. I have 8 time cards to approve. I have 1 vendor, 1 purchase order, and 1 check request to approve. And one of those check requests is a rush. We have a wonderful option on our approval flow journey that if this is a rush check, you can turn on a rush button and you can see that it's gold in your face. It also shows me here, I have something, at least something in there is rush. I better get over there and look at that. In addition to getting your little notifications here, depending on if you like them or not, because it is customizable, but you can get email notifications for every single thing you need to do. So for your department heads who are on set, who aren't in the system all day long, those email notifications are such a wonderful asset to them because that reminds them they have something to go do. For us, we may not want an email for every transaction we have to approve, and we can control all of that in GreenSlate in our email settings. One of the beautiful things about GreenSlate also is that it is customizable for everything from your tier zeros up to your huge episodics. And the environment is completely customizable for how you are approaching this specific job. In addition to the customizing of all of that, you're going to notice in my bills, I'm in a tab called Jenna. You won't see a tab called Jenna. You're going to see a tab called All, but you will be able to create a tab called Jenna. And why is that helpful? Because it makes your environment exactly what you need to do your job and nothing more. And you're no longer scrolling or looking elsewhere for information. You can finesse and customize your views to be exactly what you want them to be for how you are doing your specific job. So we're going to go over and I'm going to show you our chart of accounts real quickly and show you how things work within GreenSlate a little bit. Now, when we look at our chart of accounts, it looks a little bit like a cost report, which is pretty awesome that I have this ability here. I'm going to jump down. I have my balance sheet accounts at the end, so I'm going to jump down to those. But as you can see, I've got my balance sheet accounts. I've got my bank accounts. I've got my PC, my P cards, my deposits. Just a quick note on my PC and my P cards. They are all auto-created when I create the vendor. So when I onboarded Catherine O'Hara, who is my lead accountant, I believe she might be in camera, but I brought her on. I made her a vendor, and I automatically created a PC account for her and a P card account for her. And the system does all of that for you. And you can control, again, all of that in here. You can see how you can have all your HSTs controllable, all of your studio, everything is customizable. And if I needed to add another account, I absolutely can. And I can control all of that through here. I also can see what my whole budget is and see where I am in my show at all times. I'm going to go through now and let's go look for that employee that Daniel just brought over, which was Daniel himself. So I'm going to jump over to my employees grid and you will see I have Daniel right there. He's in here. Let's go ahead and refresh. And I've got him here. So let's go ahead and create a time card for him. So in my left nav, I can click time cards, which is going to open up my time cards module, which is great. If I wanted to go directly to create a time card, I can click this little plus button right here, and it'll go directly to time card entry for me. Excuse me. As far as our time cards system goes, we have a two-step process, an hours and a grossing process. So the time card will be submitted by either the employee or by maybe the department head on the employee's behalf. If it is submitted by somebody on behalf of the employee, then there'll be an approval flow stop for that employee to approve it because we need to get their signature on it. So we'll have the first steps, which is the submission, the approver, and then they will only be seeing hours. So if I go ahead and look, you'll see I have this one to review here, Annie Murphy's. I'm going to review this time card. So Annie is in here. She's my first ACAM assistant. These are the hours that she worked. And as you can see, all I can see in here is hours. If I had any notes, I could leave them here. Let's say she needed a bump. I could put that in here. Or if I need to explain why she was over, or why it was different than what you may have seen on the PR, but I can leave notes here. The notes in the files, these top ones, anybody that has access to this transaction can see. We also have admin notes that are basically between just your payroll accountant and the paymaster and maybe your approvers, but very internal. Nobody else can see that except for high advanced approvers and your paymaster, which allows you to be in constant communication with your paymaster, which is fantastic. So on the approval flow, if everything is good with this and I'm the department head and I'm approving Annie's hours, I would just go ahead and hit approve and say I'm good with it and it is going on its approval flow journey on its way. If there was something wrong with it, if Annie didn't actually work on Friday or her hours were wrong, for me, as in the payroll world, if I was giving her a little bit more time, I would probably give that to her and approving it on its way. But let's say she actually wasn't out at 2030. She was actually out at 2010, and this is wrong. If I'm taking away, I'm going to reject it back to her. with the reason why I'm rejecting it. Your out time on Friday was actually 2010, not 2030. Leave that note, kick it back to her, and it will show up back. She will get an email. Hopefully, she will fix it and then send it back on its way, and you will see it again, hopefully, with her hours approved. Or you may have changed those hours, put the note in there saying, I corrected your hours to 2010. Please approve that correction. And then when they approve, that is them saying, yes, those hours are correct. So there's always a paper trail for all of that. If you needed to edit it, again, like I said, you could hit that edit and I could change that 2030 to 2010 if I needed to. In addition, and I can either save, if I needed to save and kick it back, then I could have saved my changes and now reject it. And you can see that's where that change was. And see, there's that red caret that shows me that that's where I changed it. And then if I want to approve it, I can approve it and send it on its way. When I approve it, then it's going to kick it because I'm the last approver on this hour side. It is going to send it over to the grossing side, meaning now I can see the money. So here we are on our completed, and now we're going to jump over to our grossing side. So let's review that. Same exact time card, except now we are seeing the money. And you can see there's where I changed it. You can still see that I changed it earlier before so that no one has any question about what this originally was. And then as I come down here, now I can see the breakdown of all of the amounts. So your department heads are going to approve on your hours side, and then your accounting and your UPM, those that need to see the money, are going to see the money side. And again, since I'm the first one on here, I'm going to submit this on the hour side to get this going. So let's go. Oop, I did not mean to hit that. I apologize. That was the wrong button to hit. Sorry about that. Forgive me. I hit the wrong button and now I have to find... There it is. Perfect. I apologize for that. Let's create a time card. So we're going to go over to our time cards. As I said, I can either hit this plus to go straight to create, but I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create a time card for Daniel. He's in here, production manager. This is week ending. We're going to do this week. So week ending 2/21, and I'm going to hit create. Now, Daniel could have done that on his side, or we can do this on our side. Monday, so he is in here as a production manager. So he is just somebody who worked. So if we needed, so I'm going to go back and grab somebody who has hours. Apologies. I don't know if you came in on the second one, Daniel, but let's go ahead and grab Eugene. He was our BCAM operator, and we'll do his time card because we have hours in for him. So he is a tax credit code. He's an employee. He is Toronto. On Monday, he worked. It's going to fill it out as BCAM. It's going to put his account coding automatically in there. He was in at 8 a.m. He had his meal at 12. He has his meal out. Sorry, I skipped too far. Meal in at 12, meal out at 12.5, and he wrapped at 20:30. You'll also notice I did military time, non-military time, and I did decimal and colon time. You can do any of the type of time entry you want to do or any way you want to do it or any combination thereof. And he worked his 12 hours and then he actually worked the same day. We had a great easy shoot day. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that first day and paste it there. And the next day he worked similar hours, but he actually was out at 20. He only worked 11 hours that day, or 11 and a half. So I do that to 20. And then Thursday, he had completely different hours. And Thursday, he actually came in at 6:56. And he had his meal at 11 and 11.5. So we can do all of our hours there. And then we can add any other earnings. Let's say this week he actually did get a box rental. Just one day it was something special. We can put that in there, put the rate in there as he was getting $250 for a special kit. And I would put a note here, special kit used on 2/12. Okay per UPM, and leave that note here so that if anyone sees that this is on here, why would that box rental be on there? He doesn't normally get that. We used it on that date. And so we're going to leave that so everybody can see that. And then we can go ahead and hit submit. In addition, Let's say you are the accountant and you work in the office and you do not have a payroll person who's doing your time cards for you. You're doing your own. I'm going to go ahead and create my time card from last week. So we're going to go ahead and do, I think it was Bruce as my first assistant accountant. Perfect. We're going to create his for this week. And when I hit create, the first thing I'm going to do is copy from, and I can copy from his last week's time card. And I can choose to either copy the hours, the other earnings, the files, if you had a box rental kit that was added on there, or any and all of that. What if none of your hours were the same, but you just wanted that box rental kit? That can come over, or just your kit rentals and not your hours. Any of that you can choose. And when you hit copy, it's going to bring it all over from the exact week before. Here's another person who's on a weekly, so we don't even need hours because they're on a flat. So we put that in and we hit submit, and that's going to go on its way as far as time cards go. We also have the ability to batch create time cards. So for your department heads, I'm coming in, it's the end of the week. I'm the camera. I'm doing all of camera. So I'm going to do here. Now, if I were in camera, I would only see camera. I wouldn't see any of these other people, but we're going to go ahead and create a time card. I'm going to also create it all from everybody's last time cards. And so I can bring everything over from before. It's going to create it and bring everything over. So all I need to do is make little nuance changes, and they're all in there as drafts. Then I can go to my daily times and bulk change my entire team. So on Monday, my entire camera team was actually in at 6:52. I can change everybody's all at once. So you can see how I can make those changes all at once, and I can control my entire team. So I can do daily times. These daily times also feed into a production report. So rather than your crew sending the ADs the times on set, or sending an email or a text or a slip of paper, everybody can come in here and do their daily times in here, and the ADs can actually approve them in here, and then they pull their production report. So everybody is off of one single database, one single source of data, instead of the ADs having times, us having times, the daily timesheets, and none of those are the same. Here, everybody works off of one entire place. So that's going to be our time card workflow. So the crew member is going to come in, submit the time card. It's going to go through, and then we are going to batch them and send them off to our payroll. So I've created batches. I sent off my week 131 accounting. If I want to see that batch, I can click it. Anything that is in blue is in green. Anything that is in GreenSlate that is blue, I can click and drill into. It will open. So here are those 3 time cards that were in my accountant's team last week. Here they are. They're fully approved. And if I wanted to change anything I could. If I needed to add anything to that batch, I could. And if I want to see where it is right now, that batch is preview approved. So I can go ahead and look at my payroll preview for that batch and see what that preview is looking like. So here's my payroll preview. This is what the paymaster has sent over. So here's a great way for me to also make sure that all of my coding is exactly the way it needs to be. I'm not missing anything. If this should have had a tax credit, I know to go back and fix that. I can scroll through, look at all of this, and make my changes on the screen on this screen as I needed to. And then you can see where you are. So I have these ones are preview approved. This one's preview ready. This one's generating preview. This week, ending 2/14, I'm still wrapping up. Those are a couple unsent stragglers, and I'm waiting on these last ones to go through. If the checks have been cut, it would say checks ready, and those would be ready. And then from here, as soon as I post this batch, the beauty is the checks are done, and the invoice shows up on my AP side in bills waiting for me to pay. And you can have it come over fully approved and posted, or that you need to post it so that you don't have to track down your payroll accountant to get that invoice. As soon as you post that batch of payroll, that invoice is going to show up on that AP side for you, which is fantastic. I also want to point out, as far as all the integrations go, talking about Circus. They onboard. It shows up right in here. It's the same type of integration with all of our P cards as well. You go to that P card site, you grab those envelopes, they integrate right into GreenSlate, and we can manage all of it from here. The beauty also within payroll, just like I showed how you could do that production reports, how you can work in one data source with your ADs. Unlike the other payroll companies where you're sending time cards or you're sending in your paymaster is looking at one screen, you're looking at another screen, and oftentimes there's a communications breakdown because no one's looking at the same thing. Within GreenSlate, your paymasters are looking at the exact same screen you are. And if you sent a batch off to your paymaster and you realize something was wrong, you can grab that batch right back from your paymaster, make some changes and send it right back. So you are in constant communication with your paymaster as well, which makes payroll so much easier and faster and less stressful, which is obviously the goal we all want. And then the beauty also of GreenSlate is once you've learned one entry module, you've learned them all. So for example, when I'm teaching, I go to the create a build page. It's the same exact pay entry screen. Here's a create a bill screen as opposed to my create a purchase order screen. They're almost identical. And the beauty of GreenSlate is once you understand the entry screen, you've understood it all. It's a repetition on a theme. So it makes it really easy to adapt and learn the new system. In addition, I also want to add that I showed you on the chart of accounts, we have Canadian specific. We can set up your HSTs for you. And that we do integrate with all of the different P card modules in there. I also want to talk about training real quick before I send it over for Q&A. We do offer a wonderful training program. So if you want to get your hands on and try the platform out, please join us in taking a class. We're going to share the link at the end. We are offering a Canada specific class at the end or end of March. Sorry, the dates escaped me for a second. At the end of March, very excited. It is an in-person class, which is my absolute favorite to get in front of you in person and teach y'all. So it will be in Vancouver. So if you can find your way to Vancouver in March, we would love to see you there. That being said, we do also offer plenty of other classes, a first class, a seconds class, a payroll accountants class, a production accountants class, and now the Canadian specific. However, if you can't make the Canadian specific, please take one of the other classes and I will help you with the Canadian part of it if you need help. But really, it's very nuanced and you will get more training no matter what. So please don't think that you're not going to learn the system because it's not the Canada-based class. You will get all of the same information in both, just not the Canadian nuance. But please would love to see you in any of those classes. So thank you very much. And I'll send it back to Kay.
Thank
I'll
you,
be in the
Jenna.
Vancouver mixer too.
What was that, Daniel?
I'll be in the Vancouver event too, so I'll see you
Yes,
there.
yes, Daniel will be there with me as well. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys can see on your screen, there's a QR code there. If you just want to pull out your phone, aim your camera at it, the link will pop up. That's where you can go to get more information about the training that Jenna's talking about. And you can actually register for the virtual March Canadian accountant training, which is happening kind of mid-March. But I just wanted to take one step back also and just say thank you to both of you. First of all, this was fantastic. It's so great to see this integrated workflow where, Circus makes the onboarding a breeze and you can populate all of the documents that are necessary. And then everything is just sent to GreenSlate, and then GreenSlate, I mean, yeah, just the fantastic ease of creating the time cards and the ways that we're able to do that there. So, and the reduction of that manual work, the less systems you have to work in, and less things you have to chase. I mean, sounds like a dream, right? So anyway, like I said, there's the QR code on the screen. We are going to transition into Q&A. So just giving you guys a second to put any of your questions that you have in that Q&A box while we've got this QR code on the screen. And then just to let you know, when you registered for the webinar, we did give you a chance to pre-submit questions. So we're going to start with those questions first here today. And let me get to the right screen here. All right. So the first question is, Daniel, why don't you answer this one for us? So is Circus and GreenSlate, are they American or Canadian?
Yeah, so Circus obviously is a Canadian-based company. We've always been Canadian, and GreenSlate has Canadian offices, so is GreenSlate Canada as well. Um, that is your answer to that question.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And Jenna, I'm going to toss this next one to you. Is GreenSlate customizable for tax credit and sustainability tracking across provinces?
Absolutely. It's customizable for tax credit. And I'm actually going to take a brief second. I happen to see in the chat someone put a question that's similar to this. So I'm going to answer
Perfect.
Janice's question here. Her question was that the coding only indicated accounting and tax credit. That's because I did a basic demo and I don't have a lot of time in this. We have a whole slew of code types that you can choose from. Besides your 4 free fields, we have 17 different dedicated free field columns for you to choose from and track. So yes, we can track anything and everything you could possibly think of now.
Different episodes.
Yeah.
Episodes, I actually, because we have these dedicated free field columns and we have now 4 free fields that we can use, I have a production accountant that uses free field 4 for on production versus off production so that she can run her hot costs in the morning and grab who's in production and who's off production. She can't do that in another system because she would never have an extra free field code, but that's how customizable it can get, that she's able to pull that for hot costs.
That's awesome, right? Absolutely. All right. Daniel, does GreenSlate act as employer of record, for example, issuing the ROEs, T4s, T5s, etc.?
Yeah, GreenSlate absolutely handles everything as a typical EOR. However, GreenSlate is a paying agent in Canada. The only difference is whose name appears on the paycheck. So, in the EOR situation, it'd be, the payroll company, and the paying agent, it'd be actually the production company. But everything is handled by us. T4s, ROEs, absolutely everything. So, not to worry there.
Perfect. All right. And Jenna, the next one I'm going to toss to you. Is there a portal for crew to access their pay stubs?
There is, and I'm going to share my screen real quick just to show
Perfect.
something super fast, and then I'll give it right back to you. But right here on
Sounds
our
good.
left nav, you're going to notice this My Profile area that has all of your personal area, and that's where you will find your payroll history right there, and you can access your own time cards there. As far as from the accountant side of it, we can access those in time cards and get copies to them if we want, but I can access my own stuff anytime I want in the My area up there.
Yeah, and so crew, because we're permissions-based, crew would have access to see their stuff in that My Profile area, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm not paid on GreenSlate, so I won't have a payroll history because I'm logged in as me. But if I went to payroll history, I would see all of my payroll history, not only on Green Kilometer, but I would see my payroll history on every project I have with this login have ever done on GreenSlate.
That's phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
and not only that, but just to toss that over as well, you can go to Circus and look at all of your start work over there, and you can always get your start work from Circus as well as from GreenSlate. It lives in both environments.
Yeah. Ease of use either way, right? Yeah. All right, Daniel, I'm going to toss this one to you because it's related to Circus. So how does Circus
Yeah,
integrate with Cast and Crew and EP Canadian payroll systems?
Yeah, so with GreenSlate, we have this API integration, meaning all the data and docs send over automatically. With Cast and Crew and EP, we have a simple download and upload feature. So we have this really extensive ability to download specifically what documents you want from the system, and then you just upload it to their portals.
All right, perfect. Right, next question. Again, these were all pre-submitted. So, would this be suitable or affordable for lower budget independent projects? Who wants
This
to
we
grab that one?
cover just like we cover everything soup to nuts from your onboarding all the way to 10 years down the road. We cover every budget you could possibly imagine and in between there, from your tiny, tiny student to your $250 million episodic. And our affordability is along the lines. One of the beauties of us being all in one is our pricing is all in one. So if you've ever done pricing with the other payroll companies, you know it's not like that. And as far as Circus and GreenSlate, Daniel works with us. It is all above board and it is extremely affordable for what you are getting. I have no qualms about that, but any budget we can accommodate you. And that's the beauty of it. It's the same system too. So you're not getting just bits and pieces of one system because you're a bigger client.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
the same
a
thing.
key there too, is like it's the same system
The
regardless of the
same
budget.
exact thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. What are the license and usage costs?
So with Circus, we do charge, separately, but it is we start at a 50% discount for any customers that are working with GreenSlate. And that's a minimum 50%. There are times when I might even waive the fees completely, especially if your budget is lower. We really just want you to process payroll with GreenSlate. As for GreenSlate fees, you're not spending $15,000 for the accounting platform or $2,500 for this module or this module. It's just the setup fee plus the payroll rate. That's it. Okay. So you're not going to be nickel and dime for every single feature that you use.
That sounds really nice to not be nickel and dimed, right? Nobody likes that. All right, and then the last question that was pre-submitted is what studios does GreenSlate work with? And I've got a slide for that. And I just want to say that this is definitely not a comprehensive list, but we work with all of the studios that you can see on here. We support, world top studios and streamers, including Netflix, A24, HBO, Paramount, Skydance. I mean, I could keep going. I know you can see what's on the screen here, but yeah, and like I said, this is not a comprehensive list. So we definitely have a large number of studios that we work with there. So, and streamers. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone who pre-submitted their questions. We really appreciate it. It's always kind of nice for us to see like what people are thinking about as they come, before they come to the webinar. So I'm going to start. We've got a few minutes left here. So I'm going to start through. We've got quite a few questions. So we'll get to as many as we can. I see somebody has added a question in the chat. So if you can just put that in the Q&A, I'd appreciate that. That way we can make sure and follow up with you if we don't get to all of the questions today. So the first question I'm going to send over to you, Daniel. This is somebody who has obviously worked with you and they praise your strength over the years has been that you're a small team with nimble development, and that if something wasn't working for their production, they would be able to work with your team and get just what they needed within a few days. And they're concerned that now that GreenSlate has acquired Circus and wondering if they can expect that development to be just as nimble moving forward.
Oh yes. I mean, if you're speaking just to Circus, we move just as fast, if not faster, especially with AI. We are able to develop and roll out features much, much faster than before. So the vouchers is incredibly fast. We're also rolling out features like AI validation for residency documents. So we're offloading all that from you. You don't have to validate residency documents. We're going to do that for you. So many cool things are coming up this year, but yeah, we're moving fast and we can always make changes to the platform. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Michael, for that comment. That's very nice of you to say.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Daniel. I think these first couple are going to head to you because I think they were entered in while you were talking. So we're going to keep you teed up there. So another person would like to know if an invitee does not upload their residency
Yeah.
documents, can their deal memo be approved?
Yeah, I mean, like when we first designed Circus, like we asked the studios what they wanted, and they were like, "No, we want all the residency documents in one fell swoop." And so we designed the residency documents as part of the onboarding experience. So yes, the workers have to upload residency documents as part of their onboarding. But if you allow them to bypass it, maybe upload a blank document, you can always upload those documents to their start pack afterwards. Like I said, we're introducing residency validation, and so we're gonna offload that, and the moment they upload a document, we'll validate if it's a legit document or not. So we'll try to make it as easy as possible for your workers, but we do really want the experience to be unified, for your workers and for you as well.
That makes sense. People know what to expect then. Yeah. All right, I think Jenna, we're going to get you in the hot seat now with some
Okay.
questions. So, and if you need to for any of these, feel free to take over screen share as well. So,
Yep.
somebody would like to know, can you bypass the crew member approval? If best person submits all timesheets for the department, can it just be their approval?
As long as you are within the legal world to do so, and it was within your studio legalities and whatever legalities you are under, absolutely. You could submit a time card and never have a crew member see it, as long as that's within the legal framework of the production you're working on. Many studios do not allow that. The crew member must have their
Mhm.
signature. And also in US, some unions require that. So again, it has to do based on the legalities, but if you don't legally have to have it, nope, we don't force you.
Nice. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Somebody else wanted to know what the difference is between unapprove and reject in the time card module.
So reject is kicking back to the person. So something was wrong with it. If we're talking about AP, they sent something without backup. If we're talking about time cards, the time was wrong, or they put in a kit rental that they didn't get, or whatever, something was wrong, and they need to fix it or they need to do it. Unapprove is a accounting only side. A crew member would never see unapprove, and there's only a few windows where that would be, and that was when I was in moving from hours to grossing. I could have kicked it back to hours to then have kicked it back to the employee. So as the accountant, I have that unapproved spot, but only in random little nuanced areas.
That makes sense. Yeah, because you definitely need those two options there for sure. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, here's another one on timesheets. So, this, I think this question was submitted when you were talking about approvals from crew members. So, if they submit something with the incorrect hours, can you just edit it and proceed, or do they have to agree before we process it? And then there's a second part, but let me let you answer that first.
The first part of so again, going by what you legally and under your rules and guidelines have to do is going to be the first answer to that. And for me, if I'm giving somebody more time or I'm adding to their time card, no, I'm not going to kick it back and ask them to sign for it unless my studio says any change needs to be made. If I am taking anything from that crew member, I am getting their signature on it. But if I'm just giving them time or changing an hour or changing something, no, I don't have to kick it back. I can make lots and lots of changes. Me as a payroll person, I'm never going to take from somebody and not let them know I'm taking from them. I don't think that's right. But if I'm giving them a little extra something, I don't necessarily take the time to kick it back and make sure they know.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so then kind of the part two to this is if someone in export hates computers and struggled to submit, do they absolutely have to digitally approve every change? Or is there a process where we can accept it on their behalf, like an in-person approval step?
So there's always a way around things. Always a way. There's actually a Teamster in Chicago right now who doesn't have a cell phone. And a working one at that. So there are ways. I don't know how he does his job, but he does. But there are ways to get around that. For personally, if you have one crew member that doesn't do it, then maybe the department head will do it on their behalf, and you would have maybe an email chain that you can add to it. There's always notes sections, so you can always add any backup, any questions to any answers to anything on every transaction. There's a file uploader and a notes uploader, so you can always put stuff. So if you have a tech challenged person, maybe somebody submits on their behalf, and maybe they upload that paper one that the dude wrote and uploaded that as backup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's lots of ways to go about it. It also depends on how much you're willing to do for said crew member, or if you are you willing to force them to do it and make them do it and teach them. Again, all up to you.
That makes sense. All right. Let me see here. We just have a couple minutes left, so let me find one more question to answer here. Um, I guess I'll just go with this one. So do the hours, and before I get to this, hang on, let me just say this. I'm gonna throw one more question and then we're gonna wrap up. So we wrap up on time. But there's still quite a few open questions. And for everybody who put their questions, which I think at this point is everybody in that Q&A box, we will follow up with you next week. We will send you an email with your answer. So please don't worry that your question wasn't answered live. We promise we will get back to you. So the last question I'm going to throw out here is, do the hours submitted by a crew member auto-populate to the time card creation module?
Yep. And that's the beauty of the daily times too. You put them in, your crew member, your department head puts them in from their truck at the end of the day at wrap. On Friday, all they have to do is hit submit. Everything's in there, pre-populated, everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's also the beauty of GreenSlate and Circus. Everything is pre-populated and just flows seamlessly. It's lovely.
Yeah, it really is.
I just saw one pop up, assuming we can do cost reports in multi-currency and multi-companies. Yes. As multi-currency, multi-companies, multi-episodics, lots of things. Do you mind, Kimberly, me just answering a couple questions real fast as I sing them?
We've got like 30 seconds left.
Perfect.
So
Yes, you can do cost reports in multi-currency and multi-companies. Yes, you are able to pare down departments to say semi-sub-departments. So you can, with permissions to a certain extent, pare down departments to you only see certain people with, again, free fields, things like that, and grid views and customizing your grid views. A lot of these answers are going to come down to customizing your environment to exactly be what you need it to be.
yeah. And with that, I'm going to stop you, Jenna. On the screen here really quickly is Daniel and Jenna's contact information. They are more than willing and able, I don't know, that's a terrible way to say that. But anyway, they will absolutely follow up with you guys if you have additional
Yes,
questions.
email me.
Feel free to reach out to them. We thank you so much for spending your day with us today, or a little bit of your day with us. And for those that didn't get questions answered, we will absolutely reach out to you. So have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you in our next webinar.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.